Howdy folks, Nathan Adlin here with the Fast Lane Truck with
Andrei Smirnov.
And we have a very special General Motors midsize buyer guide for you.
Yep, midsize trucks are very popular right now, and GM has the Colorado, one is behind us,
Yep.
and the GMC Canyon, and they're gonna sell almost 150,000 units in 2016, almost.
These vehicles have really become a thorn in the side of Toyota and Nissan. Sales are definitely escalating, and keep in mind, this segment is actually growing.
And this is the top 5 basically decisions that you can make to choose the best Chevy Colorado or GMC Canyon for you. And number 5 is Chevy or GMC.
Now this is really a style thing because if you think about it, both vehicles have very similar packaging and all of the same mechanicals underneath.
But you will pay about $885 more to start with the GMC Canyon versus the Colorado. And of course the style, in the front end is very different.
It is very different. Now here's another thing to consider. GMC is known as being a slightly more luxurious brand over Chevrolet.
And if you want to lux your truck out, you can only do it with the GMC Canyon Denali, but that's our bonus, and that's coming up next.
Yeah, well, at the very end, at the very least.
Yep.
All right, let's get to number 4, which is gas versus diesel.
Yep, and this is a topic that has to do both with price, fuel economy, and also towing.
Without a doubt. Now, first of all, consider this. This is the only mid-size vehicle twins that are available in this market with an option for a diesel engine.
Yep, and this option is over $3,700 when you compare it to a V6, a 3.6 liter V6.
That is a lot of dough, especially for a mid-size truck. However, you guys have already shown an interest in that because sales for diesels is excellent.
Yeah, GM basically cannot keep any of the Chevy Colorados or GMC Canyons on the lot, but with the Duramax diesel, which is a 2.8 liter 4-cylinder, you're getting between 3 and 4 mpg more in the city and 5 mpg more on the highway than a V6, and you can tow more, 7,600 pounds with a 4x4 Duramax.
I believe 7,700 pounds when you have the two-wheel drive.
Yep.
That is, those numbers, that's what half-tons used to tow just a few years back.
Right. For 2017, GM is putting a new V6 into their Colorado GMC twins.
Yeah, and that comes hooked up to a new transmission as well.
Yep, 8-speed automatic, but EPA rating didn't change much, and actually combined rating on the new V6 with an 8-speed went down just a smidge because of EPA testing standards.
That's right, they've changed recently, and so a lot of companies are finding themselves struggling to catch up to the numbers that have been now reestablished by the EPA. All right, let's get to number 3, and that is extended cab versus crew cab.
Yep, you drove an extended cab 4-cylinder.
Yeah.
How was that?
Let me give you my impression of the back seat. And this is Roman and I trying to get into the back seat and out of the back seat.
So this is punishment for adults, basically.
If you don't like your in-laws, great place to put them. The problem is that it looks good from the outside. I think it's a better looking truck, but it's really, really cramped in the back. It's definitely difficult, and just as importantly, only 2 people can sit back there.
And, I think if you're single, maybe the extended cab would be fine.
Sure. I mean, it's a good place to put gear because the seats do fold and you can put stuff back there. And
for the crew cab, you will pay quite a lot of money, almost $2,200 more than an extended cab, comparable engine configuration.
But here's the weird part. In terms of long bed versus short bed, it's only a $300 difference. 2-wheel drive versus 4-wheel drive.
You have to pay a lot for a 4x4 system. Several $1,000s more than a 2-wheel drive system.
Why bother getting a truck if you're not going to get a 4x4? I'm sorry, but in my point of view, it doesn't make any sense at all if you're going to buy something like that. Otherwise, get the 4-wheel drive because you never know when you can use it, and you're cool if you get one. That's all it is. You're cool. You're cooler.
Well, we just went out in the snow on the mountain pass, and we could not have done it in 2-wheel drive truck, obviously in Colorado, right?
Absolutely. Actually, we're one of the few guys out there in terms of reviewers who have managed to take not only the diesel, but the V6 gas off-road. We've done snow with both of them. We've towed. We've done just about everything with almost every configuration we can get our hands on up here. And so we basically have a fairly good idea on what works and what doesn't work. And I got to tell you, in terms of off-roading and in terms of overall enjoyment, the V6 with the four-wheel drive system or the diesel with the four-wheel drive system, that's the way to go.
And of course, there's an automatically locking rear differential.
Yep.
So it helps a lot in any kind of off-road situation. But a lot of people don't live in the snow belt, states, and maybe some of them don't need the extra expense of a four-wheel drive
Yes,
system.
you do. I'm sorry, but
Really?
you do. You do because you're already in a truck that's utilitarian, so you want to get to that next stage where you have four-wheel drive. And I've been looking at that for a while, and I'm thinking, well, why not get it? It's that one time you need it, that you don't have it, that you regret it.
Yeah,
right?
like you want to pull somebody out of a ditch or something.
Now, for those of you who do have more money than sense, there is one final version, which is the GMC Canyon Denali. Now, they do not make a Chevy Colorado Denali,
Nope.
because God forbid,
Or a high country or something else.
right? But they do make the GMC Canyon Denali, and that
So let me just tell you.
Please.
So I priced one out.
All right.
Okay. So 2017 GMC Canyon Denali 4x4 crew cab long bed with the Duramax.
Yeah.
With the special red quartz paint.
okay.
Of course, it comes with 20-inch rims. You're getting plush leather seats and a heated steering wheel, and chrome recovery hooks for $49,280.
Nearly 50 grand. You
Yep.
figure tax and everything else. Oh, yeah, boy.
And that's before a tonneau cover. If you want a tonneau cover or some other accessories, you have to pay extra. But here's my thinking on this. If GM didn't think it would sell, they wouldn't build one.
That's
So
a good
they
point.
see a need in this truck, but it blows me away.
It does. Well, it's the idea of having a premium small truck. See, a lot of people out there think, well, why don't you just get a half-ton truck if you're going to be spending that type of money? Some people literally do not want that size. They want a smaller size, hence having these size trucks, and they're doing really well right now. Well, I hope you guys had a good time with us, and thanks for joining us for the Fast Lane Truck. This is Nathan Adlin.
And Andrei Smirnov.
Don't forget to go to tfltruck.com for news, views, real-world reviews, and more buying guides in the future.
Yep. So for your money, what config of a GM midsize truck would you get?
Practically the one behind us, except I have to get the GMC over the Colorado. The reason why, I think the GMC is a little bit better looking, just a personal thing. But basically, the one we had before, the green one that we did the MPG loops with,
Okay.
I loved that truck. I almost brought it home under Roman's nose. I kept it.
Okay. I would get a Chevy Colorado Z71, basically this truck behind us, but with no diesel. I would get it with a new V6 with an 8-speed.
Says the man with a diesel truck.
Yes, can you believe it?
You're just tired of diesels now?
I am kind of tired of diesels.
There it is.
Tell me about your trying to start this truck in 0-degree
Okay,
weather.
we had a cold snap recently, so it was literally 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And I went outside to start the truck, and it did this. Whoa, 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 and then it started. Now, first of all, that's really cool that I didn't have to screw around with the glow plugs or anything else like that and prime it. But at the same time, it took over 10 minutes just to get a little bit of heat into the cabin.